Good afternoon. Wanted to come to you today, speak to you about something that happened last week. There was a former student that came to Compton Junior High last weekend, and this young man, from what he said, was at his lowest of low, hit his rock bottom. Um, he burned every bridge with his family and social service and community resource. He had tried every drug I had ever heard of and some and more. And he explained his experience of substance abuse and homelessness and going through these different trials and tribulations in his life. And he was at his lowest of low, right? And Stafford talking about he woke up, looking, in addition to that, he's schizophrenic, right? And he was going through some schizophrenia things. And he woke up last week that morning and said, he wanted to make a change in his life. And he did a few things that day, but before his day ended, he came to Compton. And he asked for the teacher that he remembered when he was in middle school. This young man is now 24 years old, and he remembers his middle school teacher. He came in the office, imagine, pretty much how a homeless individual would look. And he asked for Miss Mundy. And he said, there was a Miss Mundy here. I remember Miss Mundy. I need to speak to Miss Mundy. And Miss Mundy pulled him in the conference room and talked to this young man and poured into this young man. And Miss Mundy had the insight to come speak to me and the other Mr. Smith. And she came in here and asked to speak to me and Mr. Smith. She said, I have this young man over in the conference room, and I'm talking to him, and I need you guys to pour into him and to talk to him about, what it is to be a young man, a young African-American man, and just give him some encouragement and wisdom. And then she walked out and to go finish speaking with him. Me and Smith began to talk, and we're like, we immediately kind of went to a negative place, like talk therapy doesn't work. Like what does she want us to say to him that's going to make him, change or feel better? And it went to a negative place. And usually I'm a pretty positive person, right? And I'm the type of person at that point to kind of spin it back to the positive side. But we kind of went back and forth. And it wasn't too negative, but it was just enough that could have blocked what was about to happen in this room, right? So we stepped over in this room, and immediately you could tell like this individual was troubled, broken, had some things going on. And when he began to share, we just had this something come over us, right? And I'm going to cut to the chase. We never know the impact that we're going to have on someone's life by our words and actions, right? This young man's story had me just ready to just jump into action, right? I'm like, I got to get this boy placed like right now, right? So, as my role in the district, community relations liaison, family and community engagement, an advocate for students, families, parents, I felt that him as a former student, it was my obligation to make sure that this young man was taken care of, even if it's just for the night, right? To end his homelessness just for that night, right? So immediately went to work. I was going to call the superintendent, the mayor, if I needed to get this young man somewhere to stay. And as a behavior intervention specialist, the other Mr. Smith, he went to work himself and, not diagnosing, but diving deeper into, this young man's plight. And it was just amazing to see 3 educators and supporters in this room building around this young man who was a former student, right? 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. So, it made me think, right, as educators, especially in middle school, we are seed planters, right? And we never know the seed that this individual or this student has to where later in life, when other people get to water it and nurture it, what's going to grow from that, right? So I think we get caught up so much in the now, what we can change now, what we can have them do now, the person they're going to be now, and we forget that there's more, right? And there's a longer life to live. And, I just wanted to get on here and share my gratitude for Miss Monday pulling me in, and for her being the person that she is, that allowed a young man to remember her, to come back to a place 11 years later and say, I remember how you used to talk to me, how you used to pour into me, how you used to tell me what I could be, what I could do, that I could always come back. And, he remembered his middle school teacher, of all the teachers, of all the staff, of all the people that he interacted with, to come back to seek help, right? Create change in his own life. And I thought that was just the dopest experience ever, right? And we got that young man placed, and, they're going to offer him some services, and, he's going to try to take care of his schizophrenia and his substance abuse. And I was just really filled, in the fact that, he came to seek counsel from this young lady, this lady of wisdom, and Miss Monday. And I felt that I had to share, you know what I mean? It could be applicable to someone in the space that you work in, or in your life, or whoever you're dealing with, or the students that you deal with, right? Because we all come broken, right? We all got things that we're dealing with, and it spoke to me in the sense to, what my life and my work is, not only in schools, but in the community, with youth, with parents. So I thought that was pretty dope. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to work before I get canned for being on Facebook Live now. So yeah, so the Face world, BCSD world, we're making an impact. The impact is real, right? Keep at it. All my Facebook friends and family, keep at it. Make an impact today. Happy Monday, after Super Bowl Monday. Everybody trying to call out. Get to work. Got a lot of work to do. All right. This is Linebacker Dad, Joe Smith, Face BCSD signing out. You guys have a good one.